A corpus of 33 ancient inscriptions, commissioned by Emperor Ashoka, serves as the primary historical record for the Mauryan Empire. These 33 nodes stretch across the subcontinent, from the borders of modern Afghanistan in the north to Karnataka in the south. The network is composed of distinct categories: 14 major rock edicts, 2 Kalinga edicts, 7 pillar edicts, and various minor rock and pillar inscriptions. Ashoka abandoned the conventional formulas of royal self-praise common in the ancient world. Instead, he initiated a massive, sustained policy of epigraphic proclamations to communicate administrative directives directly to his subjects. Reconstructing Ashoka's true philosophy of statecraft requires processing the specific data embedded within this 33-node network. The first variable in this communication strategy is the physical medium used to deliver the message. For the widespread major and minor edicts, administrators utilized conveniently located, unpolished rock surfaces found throughout the empire. This image of the Rumande pillar shows the alternative medium used for later edicts: monolithic pillars of Chunar sandstone, polished to a mirror-like finish and erected across the Ganges plain. These objects were strategically placed in high-traffic public gathering areas, at major trade hubs, and along ancient highways. Ashoka bypassed traditional bureaucratic channels, embedding his ideology directly into the landscape to ensure his word reached the populace without mediation. Internal chronological references establish the sequence of the network, marking the minor rock edicts as the earliest texts in the corpus. These early inscriptions indicate that Ashoka's transition toward Buddhism was a gradual process over 2.5 years, rather than a sudden religious shift. Across the Magadha core region and the Gangetic plains, the administration used the Magadhi Prakrit dialect written in the Brahmi script. At the northwest frontier, specifically at Mansehra and Shahbazgarhi, the language shifts to Gandhari Prakrit and the script changes to Kharosti. Moving further west into modern Afghanistan, the Kandahar inscriptions are rendered entirely in Greek and Aramaic. In these frontier texts, specific Buddhist terminology, like the Eightfold Path and the Four Noble Truths, is entirely omitted. Instead, administrators translated the core concept of Dhamma by using the Greek philosophical term eusebeia, meaning reverence or piety. The emperor communicated in the local vernaculars and scripts his subjects already understood, respecting regional identities to ensure clarity. This level of localization indicates that the edicts functioned as tools for political integration and civic order, rather than for dogmatic religious conversion. The mechanics of that integration are most visible in the 14 major rock edicts located at the margins of the empire. This overview categorizes the specific mandates contained within these 14 texts. The first edict prohibits animal sacrifice, while the second establishes state-sponsored medical care and botanical cultivation for both humans and animals. Edicts 3, 4, and 5 outline an administrative overhaul, with Ashoka explicitly replacing the sound of the war drum with the sound of Dhamma. To manage this, he created the Dhamma Mahamatas, a specialized cadre of officials whose sole duty was to disseminate this civic ideology across social groups. The sixth edict mandates the continuous operation of state intelligence through a network of reporters. Ashoka issued a strict directive demanding to be informed of state affairs at all times, regardless of his physical location or personal activity. Edict 7 through 10 focus on welfare measures, religious tolerance, and replacing traditional royal pleasure tours with inspection tours for the populace. He explicitly criticizes useless ceremonies, stressing moral conduct instead, and claims he desires no further fame or glory. The final block, Edicts 11 through 14, codifies Dhamma as the primary policy of the state. The 13th edict demonstrates the administration's geographical reach, naming neighboring southern lands like the Cholas and the Greek king Antiochus to the northwest. When analyzed together, these 14 edicts function as a centralized, secular constitution designed to unify a polyglot empire through ethics rather than military force. This dataset also contains anomalies that reveal the administration's capacity for adjustment. The Maski Minor Rock Edict in Karnataka provides the direct link needed to identify the author of the entire network. These carved Brahmi characters represent the first instance where the inscription drops the standard royal title and reveals the personal name, Ashoka. Another significant anomaly appears in Nepal with the Rumande pillar inscription. Rather than a broad moral proclamation, this is a specific economic decree. Ashoka visited Lumbini to commemorate the Buddha's birthplace and subsequently exempted the village from its standard tax burdens. The final major exception is found on the eastern coast at Kalinga. Here, the standard rock edicts 11, 12, and 13 are omitted and replaced with 2 separate rock edicts. The Kalinga War was a brutal conquest. The administration removed the standard text that detailed the violence of that campaign to pacify a traumatized population. In their place, Ashoka deployed a specific paternal phrase tailored for the local political reality: "All men are my children." Ashoka's willingness to edit his own baseline constitution reveals a highly adaptable administrative intelligence. When these isolated texts are reconnected into a single, integrated imperial network, the true strategy becomes clear. The network dismantles the historical misconception that Ashoka was attempting to force Buddhism as the official state religion. We can see a clear divide between his personal faith and his public policy. In his private edicts to the Buddhist Sangha, he speaks as a confirmed believer, threatening to expel dissident monks from the order. But in the public major rock edicts, that sectarian tone disappears. He operates strictly as a secular emperor, demanding civic order, social responsibility, and religious tolerance. He engineered public dhamma as a secular social ethic designed to hold a diverse state together through a shared attitude of social responsibility. The unprecedented scale of Ashoka's statecraft allowed him to transition from a brutal military conqueror to a visionary ideological ruler. He negated the prevailing philosophy of his era, which held that an empire could only be maintained through constant military conquest. He substituted warfare with an aggressive, highly visible pursuit of civic righteousness. This 33-node network proves that ideas, when correctly localized and systematically deployed, possess the power to consolidate empires long after the armies have gone.